Welcome back into CBS Sports HQ, breaking down position rankings heading into the draft, and it is time for a good one here. We're going to talk about the running backs because I'm not going to say it's necessarily a fight, but a disagreement among some of our analysts. Who is the best running back in this year's draft? Are we talking Travis Etienne? Are we talking Najee Harris? There is argument for both of these gentlemen. All right, so this is what Ryan Wilson has them ranked as. Najee Harris coming in at number 126 rushing touchdowns this past season, the best in the nation, followed closely by Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, and Kenneth Gainwell. Let's welcome back the man behind the mock drafts, Ryan Wilson, also two-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden. B-Mac, we're going to start with you here and see if you agree. Ryan Wilson has Najee Harris as his number one running back in this draft. Do you agree?
Yes, I have to agree with Ryan Wilson. And the reason why I agree with Ryan Wilson, if we're just basing and assembling this list based on what we saw from these players in 2020, you have to have Najee Harris number one on your list. He had the hottest tape. He was the most consistent. He balled out week in and week out, not just running the football, but he also caught the football well. Now, things could change, right, when these running backs work out in shorts for the NFL teams at their pro days or whatever the case may be. But just based on what we saw this past season, unbelievable tape from Najee Harris. Over 1,400 yards, 26 rushing touchdowns, caught over 40 passes for 4 touchdowns, over 400 yards receiving. He did everything you would want your running back to do in that offense. He was a highlight reel week in and week out. Now, the luxury that he had is something that a lot of these other running backs didn't have that we will talk about, and the best offensive line unit in all of college football. Sometimes he didn't get touched until he got to the second level. Now, I'm not saying because of that, the skill set is not there. No, he's a naturally gifted running back. So me personally, he should be number one on everybody's list. When you're talking about the running backs, and especially if you're talking about their most recent tape, and he has the hottest tape out of all the running backs.
All right, Ryan, let's talk about the guy number 2 on your list here. And I want you to tell Pete Prisco why, because he says he is just obsessed with Travis Etienne. He is the number one back, according to Pete Prisco, in this draft. You have him as number 2, so tell us why.
Well, I think B-Mac's exactly right. If you watch what happened in 2020, it's hard to come away thinking Najee Harris wasn't the best running back in college football. Also, Najee Harris made himself a ton of money. Had he come out in 2019, he probably was going to be a day 3 pick. Travis Etienne's numbers actually went down a little bit. And to B-Mac's point about Najee Harris running behind that offensive line, the offensive line at Clemson wasn't as good in 2020 as it was in 2019. And we saw glimpses of Travis Etienne not doing things at as a high level as we saw previously. He still did it at an incredibly high level. And I know why Pete loves Etienne, and it's what he calls his quote-unquote airbacks. And when he talks about airbacks, he means guys like Christian McCaffrey that can do more than run the ball, but they can also catch the ball. And Etienne was targeted. He had 48 receptions this season, which is a huge jump for previous years for him. But guess what? Najee had 43 receptions this year, a huge jump for him as well. But Etienne is special, and one is 1 and the other one's 1A. Whoever you're getting is going to run incredibly hard between the tackles. They can bounce it outside. Etienne's going to be a little faster. They can both offer a lot as pass receivers, and they can also pass block, which is incredibly important if you want to be on the field on third downs. So can both these guys go in the first round? I would love to see it just to get Prisco fired up, but I think there's a chance one goes in round 1 and one probably goes early in round 2. A team like the Saints, for example, at the bottom of round 1, I would love to see them take a running back like a Najee Harris or Travis Etienne to jumpstart an offense that will now be without Drew Brees.
All right, let's go to the third guy on Ryan's list there, Javonte Williams out of North Carolina. His final season had more than 1,100 yards, 19 touchdowns on the ground here. B-Mac, tell us a little bit more about him.
Yo, I love Javonte. I think he is the wild card when you look at all the running backs that are available. I mean, he shared the workload there with Michael Carter, but that's a bright spot because whenever he was in the backfield with Mr. Carter and he wasn't getting the football, just watch his effort when blocking for Michael Carter. I mean, he blocks real well. He attacks the game of blocking like he attacks the game when he's running the football. And I think that will improve his chances of going higher than what many expect in this year's draft. 1,100 yards, like you said, Amanda, 19 rushing touchdowns. He averaged over 7 yards per carry. If you really want to see who he is as a player, just go back and watch North Carolina versus Miami, 2020, in Coral Gables. tables. This man ran for 308 yards on 24 attempts and 2 touchdowns. He also forced 85 missed tackles in 2020, the highest total among all the running backs. Forced 85 missed tackles. That's impressive. He has great balance. He's always falling forward. That's a great skill set to have for a running back that's always falling forward. And he caught the pass, caught the ball in the backfield well as well. Over 300 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. I think he has an opportunity to go really, really high. When I watch him, he reminds me a lot of Rudy Johnson, the former Cincinnati Bengal who used to play for Auburn as well. A bowling ball type of running back. But like I said, he can make you miss in short spaces. And he also has the ability to fall forward week in and week out. He is the wild card. I think if he runs well, look out, man. He could jump up the draft boards a little bit.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.